Look, I know I'm supposed to be all happy, like, oh, Colts won! Colts won! I'm so happy! What I saw out of that game was sheer disappointment. And if the game had ended like how it began, I would be coming on here. I would be so excited. I'd be hyping up the Colts right now. I can't do that now. What I saw out of those last two, that last quarter, and about 5 minutes of the third quarter too, was absolutely disgusting and disappointing. It's every bad word that you can imagine. The fact that we can nearly pull the 2022 Colts Vikings against the 3-11 Titans. The 3-11 Titans shows me that this team is not good. This team has never been good. The team has illusions of being good. It's not. The team can trick you into thinking the team is good when it is not. And I've been tricked many times this season. Many times we played really well. Many times we won games. We're probably not going to end the season with a losing record. We're probably going to win out. But the number one fact is, this team is not good. And majority, this defense is not good, no matter whoever or whatever says that Gus Bradley is good. He's not. He cannot stay our defensive coordinator next season. You can't do it. After this performance, he should be gone by tomorrow morning, let's be honest. But he's not. He's not, because we all know this team. We all know Chris Ballard is just going to sit down. Oh, we won the game. We won the game. It's okay. And just move on with his day. Again, we almost choked a 38-7 lead against the 3-11 Tennessee Titans. That is unacceptable. It's not even like the Vikings. The Vikings were good. They were good that year we choked a 33-point lead. This Titans team is terrible. They don't even have a QB, basically. They benched Will Levis last week for Mason Rudolph. And guess what? Mason Rudolph comes in. I forgot they did that. Mason Rudolph comes in, throws 23 for 34. Yes, I know he threw 3 picks. But at the beginning of the game, he was 9 for 9. He threw for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yes, I know. He started the game off really bad. I know. Well, he started it good. I know that middle part was very bad for him. I know he threw big picks. But he looked like he was a star QB at the last 2 quarters of the half. The last half. That's unacceptable. You can't have that. Even if we won this game, which we did, someone needs to be fired. Someone has to be fired, because this cannot continue. Any other team except the Titans would have came back and won this game. Well, there's a few other teams that won it, like maybe the Giants, maybe the Jaguars, the Patriots. But any other team in this situation who has all the momentum, is playing a defense that can't tackle anyone, playing an offense that takes out their star player for absolutely no reason. Now, originally, I understood it. I understood not having Taylor in, even though he ran for, what? He ran for 218 yards and 3 touchdowns with an average of 7.5 yards per carry. You take him out. I understand it at first. I did. But it's like, one, he could have got he 100% could have got the rushing record, the single game rushing record. I don't know what that record is, but he 100% could have got it. Two, there was no reason to take him out. If you had stepped on their throats, then it would have been fine. It's not like you took the whole starting offense out. It's not like you put in all the backups. You didn't put in Joe Flacco. You didn't put in the backup receivers. You didn't put up the backup O-line. You kept everyone in except Taylor. And what happens? We can't run anymore. And you can see Richardson's QB stats. He only threw 11 times, which I 100% agree with. I think he should be not throwing as much as he has the past few games. But at the same time, there is no reason to take him out. And then he gets brought back in. He's sat on the bench for like 20 minutes. Or 30, whatever. And then he slowed down. He was on a heater. He had a 65-yard touchdown rush, a 70-yard touchdown rush, and he got another one on the ground when they took away one of Anthony Richardson's rushing touchdowns. And they take him out. They bring in the backup running backs. They bring in Goodson. They bring in Sermon. They can't play well. One of them, at least both of them had one good run. But neither of them play like Taylor. There were many holes that the Titans' defensive line had that would have been touchdowns if it was Jonathan Taylor. And that would have locked up the game. But no, you take him out for no good reason. We begin to choke, and then you bring him back when we're already down, when they're down 16. And guess what? You drive a little more. You have to punt the ball away, and then they score another touchdown. Come on. You can't have that. You can't have that. And the defense. You have played well. You played well last game too. I know that was a 31-13 loss, but you played well majority of that game. You played well majority of this game. It seems like every fourth quarter, Gus Bradley just sits down and just stops playing. He tells the players to stop playing because they've already won the game. And they haven't. They didn't. I mean, dude always lines up in prevent defense and lets up the short throws, and then they get into the end zone. Then they get into the end zone again. Then they get into the end zone a third time. And, well, guess what? It was 38-7. Now it's 38-30. Great job, guys. And let's be honest. It was 3rd and 7. It was 3rd and 7 on the last drive. If Richardson didn't complete that pass to Pittman, I probably would not be here right now. Because I would be sitting in my room and I would reflect on life at that point. I would reflect on the point of why I am even a Colts fan in the first place. Because not only would have we had the number one biggest choke in football in NFL history, 33-0, we would have had the third biggest choke, 38-7. That's a 31-point lead. The second biggest one was the Oilers, conveniently, because the Oilers are the Titans now. But just why? Why? Why do we play like this? We can never just blow out a team. I don't think I've witnessed a blowout. In fact, let's check. Let's check. Let's see the last time we've had a blowout. Or a blowout on our team, at least. Let's see. Well, not this season. Not this season. Preseason doesn't count. No, we haven't had one this season. I thought it went back even more, but I guess not. We haven't had one this season. I'm gonna be honest. The Texans game last year, week 2, was a blowout. I can admit that. I don't remember the Steelers one fully. That one might have been a blowout. I don't remember if it was, but it might have been. But this team can never just blow out a team. We saw it last week against the Broncos. Literally 13 to 7. Taylor fumbles the ball out of the end zone, and we completely collapse. When we could have went up 13 at that point, and we probably would have won the game at that point because they would have been demotivated. This is a severe problem, and you know who this lies on? It lies on the coaching staff, and it lies on the general manager, Chris Ballard, Gus Bradley, Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen was admittedly good today on offense. He ran the ball a lot with Richardson and with Taylor. He didn't throw as much with Richardson, and we saw the results. We put up 38 points because we should be a running team. But when you take out Taylor, you bring in the... Drop my phone, my bad. Give me a second. No, I'm not editing this out, by the way, because I'm too lazy to do that. So... Alright, back in business. Okay, let me see. What was I talking about? Okay, when you take out Taylor and you bring in these backup running backs that are not as good as Taylor and do not exploit the holes like Taylor once did earlier in the game, well, then you can't run. You weren't passing more. You didn't pass more. I don't think Richardson attempted like more than 3 passes. More than 3 or 5. I'm thinking back. Was it like 6 and 10 when it was halftime? Oh shoot. My bad. Was it like 6 and 10? He was somewhere low. It was like 5 and 9, 6 and 10. He barely threw, and he didn't throw more when we took out Taylor. So at that point, what's the point? Oh my gosh. It's just being annoying today. So what's the point in taking him out when he's our whole offense at that point? And I'm not disagreeing with what Steichen's doing. I 100% agree with him. We should be giving the ball to Taylor at least 30 times a game, and we should be letting Richardson rush at least 10 to 15 times a game, with him passing every once in a while, because he can throw it deep. But, I don't know. Something needs to change in the offseason. Someone needs to go. Gus Bradley, probably the biggest one that needs to go. Second's Chris Ballard. I'm still holding out hope for Steichen. I know he's a good coach. He was a good coach today for at least 3 quarters until they took Taylor out. I know he's a good coach. I know he has it in him. He's 16 for 16. He's not like he has like this bad losing record. I know he's good. But you can't keep doing stuff like this. You need to step on the throats of your opponents. You can't get soft. You can't let up short throws. Act like the game is 0-0. Act like you're down. I don't care if you're up by 31. Act like you're losing by 7 at that point. Always act like you're 7 until it's late in the 4th quarter. Then you can put in your backups. We see that with many other teams in the league. But for some reason, we can't do it. Anyway, that's rant over. And that was a long one, but I didn't do this earlier, but I kind of have to. Colts win 30-38 against the Tennessee Titans. Like I mentioned a long time ago, we played really well. We had 38 unanswered, 31 unanswered, something like that. I think it was 38. We had 38 unanswered. We scored, after the Titans scored a touchdown, we scored 24 in the second and 14 in the third. We could have scored 3 with Matt Gay, but he can't hit a 55-yarder honestly, he can't hit a 50-yarder to save his life. So I don't really know about that. And then the Titans came back. They scored 8 in the third and 15 in the fourth. And again, if Richardson didn't throw that pass to Michael Pittman, who was for some reason open, again, I likely would not be recording this video right now. And you would probably be watching this video about an hour or two later. So, thank goodness for that. Of course, they got the ball back with like 3 seconds left. Mason Rudolph throws a pick, and that's game. That's game. Okay. For overall stats, of course, starting with the Colts, as always, Anthony Richardson threw 7 for 11 for 131 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Not a bad decision this time. It was just bad accuracy. He didn't throw it well. If he threw it on a dime there, he would have had that. That probably would have been a touchdown, but it's okay. It didn't affect us. It didn't matter. Other than that, he went 6 for 10. No, wait. He went 7 for 10, other than the interception. And he could have had 8 if Josh Downs didn't drop one of his passes. But Josh Downs did catch a touchdown pass today, so I will not get on him too hard for that. Jonathan Taylor, amazing day from him. After dropping the ball against, the Broncos and completely killing any chance we had, based off of momentum at least, he comes back, we give the ball to him 29 times, and he goes for, it's not his highest, I don't think. I think his highest is 250, but at least his second highest performance in his career. 29 carries, which I like. 218 yards, 7.5 yards per carry, and 3 total touchdowns on the day. Unfortunately, I did not start him on fantasy, but my fantasy team's done anyways. Y'all saw that last week. The other guy put up 200 points. That was not coming back from that. I think I'm down like 80, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But Jonathan Taylor, amazing day, amazing bounce back. I'm glad to have you on the team. Anthony Richardson, again, exactly what we want to see. He should have had 2 touchdowns, but he has 1. And he also carried the ball for 9 times for 70 yards. It's obvious. When we run the ball, we win. This should have been the mentality coming into the season. This should have been the mentality the whole season. But for some reason, they want to dial up 30 different passing plays, and it makes Richardson's stats look bad. They just need to run the ball 30 times with Taylor, 10 times with Richardson, and you'll win games. We saw this here, and we're going to see this in the future if, nothing changes in the offseason and we keep both Taylor and Richardson. Other than that, Sermon and Goodson, they came in place of Taylor. They got 8 and 4 combined for 12. Sermon got 25 yards. Goodson got 22. A little bit better day for Goodson. I think he should be a running back too. But at the same time, we should probably also get another RB2 in the draft. I wish we could get G&T, but he's probably going to go to someone like the Cowboys. So, besides, in the first round, we're getting a tight end. I want Tyler Warren. He's on Penn State. He's really good. But, that's just my opinion, though. For receiving, Josh Downs did lead. Again, I'm not going to get on him for that drop. It's okay. 3 for 61, 1 touchdown. Adonai Mitchell, 80 Mitchell, only caught 1 ball, only got 1 target, but it was a deep ball. He almost dropped it, but it's okay. He held on to it. This is what we want to see. With Pierce out, he's usually our deep ball man. We needed someone to catch it deep, and that's what he delivered on. Pittman, crucial catch in the last 2 minutes there to prevent a punt by our team. So good on Pittman. And Mo Alley caught 1 for 15, so good on him. For our defense, surprisingly, number 57, Carlisle's, led with 6 tackles and 4 assists. Franklin had 3 tackles and 4 assists. He's a good player. Womack got an interception, and Kenny Moore, he got 2 on the day. So good on him. He had himself a day. Although, admittedly, one of those were in deep garbage time, but that he got 2 picks. That's all that matters. Latu, rookie, 2 for 2. Surprisingly, only 1 sack would he pay. I would have liked to see way more sacks with that Titans O-line, but there's nothing we really could do about that. No. Matt K. Kick returns. Anthony Gold, really stellar performance from him. 3 returns for 97 yards, 32, he averaged 32. And Doolin also came in, returned 1 for 30. For punt returns, Gold returned 2 for 18. Kicking, Matt Gay, he missed a 55-yarder. Not the easiest kick in the world, but he should still be making those. He also kicked a 31. That was good. And he kicked total 8 points on the day. So, unfortunate that he missed, but it's still an all-right performance. And Rigoberto Sanchez punted 4 times for only 189 yards. He averaged 47 yards per play, and he's inside the 21 time. Now on to the Titans. Again, disappointed in what I saw in Rudolph. He was playing. He's playing hot and cold, but he still played all right. 3 interceptions is still bad. Worse than Richardson, but other than one of them was in garbage time. One of them wasn't his fault. One of them definitely was his fault, but the other one wasn't his fault really. So 23 for 34, 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. For rushing, they did not have a good day at rushing at all. Tony Pollard, 8 for 35. Spears, 10 for 27. He did have 2 touchdowns, though, so that's good for him. And Rudolph ran 4 times for only 3 yards because he's not Richardson. Okonkwo led for their receiving, 9 catches for 81 yards. Calvin Ridley had a deep ball in the beginning of the game, 3 for 78 and a touchdown. Spears caught 3 for 39. Boyd caught 2 for 20. Westbrook caught 2 for 17 and a touchdown. He's a touchdown machine. I like him. Kinsley caught 1 for 6. Martin Robinson caught 1 for 6. And Pollard caught 2 for 5. For their defense, Simmons got, I believe, their only sack on the day. Yep. And Brownlee Jr. got, no, not Brownlee Jr. Hooker got the pick off of Richardson. Their leading tackler was Gray, 6 for 5. 6 and 5. For kick returns, Spears returned 2 for 69, average of 30.5. Kinsley returned 3 for 23, average of 7.7. Narvinson missed his only field goal on the day, only kicked 2 extra points. Yeah, Narvinson, he kicked it short. You can't kick it short in this league anymore. I know it was a 50-yarder, but still, you can't kick it short in the league anymore. And that's why you really do not have a job, unfortunately. So work on kicking in the offseason. Hopefully you'll get signed by a different team. For punting, Stonehouse punted 4 times for 221 yards, and he was inside the 20 1 time. For total stats, obviously a demolition in terms of rushing yards, 335 to 65. That is insane, and that is why the Titans lost, even though they bounced back. I do admit that, unfortunately. But that is why you lost. You could not stop the run, and you could not run yourself. 335 to 65. In total, it's 458 to 307, but that's because they had the passing yards edge, 242 to 123. Also, a demolition on yards per play, a 2-yard difference, 7.4 to 5.4. We only had 1 more first down, 1918. We were more efficient on third down, though. 8 for 15 for their 5 for 11. We went for 1 fourth down. We got it. They did not go for a 4th down. We had 62 total plays. They had 57. We both allowed 1 sack. Both punted 4 times. We had more penalties, which is kind of surprising. The refs were kind of silent today. 7 for 62 for their 4 for 35. No fumbles. They threw 3 interceptions. We only threw 1. And for a rare point in this season, we actually led the time of possession by 4 minutes. Or 3. I think that's 4. 33 to 27. So good on the Colts. That would actually be 6 minutes. Never mind. So good on the Colts for actually leading the time of possession for once in their lives. And that's what you really need. Good rushing, serviceable passing, and hold the ball on for longer. And an otherwise disappointing day. I am still glad we got the win. It went from being an extremely happy day. I was really happy that we were putting belt to hated rival, 38-7. And I'm gonna be honest, when it was 38-30, I got really mad. I got really sad. I was 100% worried. I was honestly worried at the 38 to 15 point that we choked the game. I was talking about, oh yeah, we're going to choke this. And I was kind of playing it off as a joke. But it almost happened. It's just the way of the Colts, baby. Just disappointing. It went from a day of joy to a day of disappointment, even if we won. I know the guys in the locker room are definitely going to be disappointed with this performance too, even though they won, really. They won. And they just got to clean it up. You got the Giants next week. You got the Jags after that. You should be able to win out. It's very, very unlikely that we will make the playoffs at this point. One of two things need to happen. Chargers either need to lose out. They play the Raiders and the Patriots. That's not happening. Or the Broncos need to lose out. Bengals, Chiefs. That's possible. And also, you need either the the Broncos. The Broncos need to lose out. If I didn't mention that earlier. I think I did. My bad. Broncos lose out. That's pretty possible with the Bengals and the Chiefs. And then the Bengals or the Dolphins need to win out so we can have a three-way tie. Because obviously, the Broncos the Broncos do have the tiebreaker over us. So we would need a three-way tie in terms of a 9-8, kind of tiebreaker thing. That stuff's always weird. It makes sense, but it's always weird. And then we have the tiebreaker in terms not of wins against that team, but in terms of something like conference wins, points, something like that. But we have the tiebreaker technically, so we need a lot of help. And I don't think it's going to go through. The Bengals had a disappointing performance today. In fact, let's go look at their game. Oh, Patriots, please beat the Bills. I would love to see that. Yeah, we need to root for the Dolphins over the 49ers, obviously. But Bengals had a semi-disappointing performance. They did win, but it was kind of iffy at the end of that game. So, you need to have the Bengals win against the Broncos next week, obviously. Biggest game. And then I think they play like a cupcake or something. They play a really easy team. Never mind. They do not play a cupcake. They play the Steelers. We saw what happened last time when they played the Steelers. Yeah, it's not happening. If you have any hopes for the Colts making the playoffs, it's not happening. Let's be honest. It's unfortunate, but we lost to the Bengals. Not the Bengals. We lost to the Broncos. We deserve it. We don't deserve. We deserve not deserving to make the playoffs. And let's be honest, we don't even deserve to have a winning record. It's a disappointing season. Very disappointing. But other than that, let me actually go through the other scenario. We need the Dolphins to win out. If they'd beat the Texans, things would be more interesting. Although I still think the Texans would have won the division. The Dolphins would have been 7-7. 7-7. The Dolphins need to win today. Then the Dolphins need to win against the Browns, which is an easy win. And the Dolphins need to win against the Jets. So if they can beat the 49ers today, they could win out. And if this was like a 9-8 battle, the Broncos weren't there, we'd have the tiebreaker over the Dolphins. But at that point, it doesn't matter in terms of a three-way split. So one of those teams need to win out. And the Broncos need to lose out, which is a possibility. But anyway, I guess that's all for today. Oh, Bills, please stay the same. Oh, never change, Bills. But that'll be it for today. Again, disappointing win. Disappointing all around. We should have blown them out. We should have won by 50. But a win's a win. We always take one of those. Pray for a Colts playoff miracle. See you guys after Christmas. Have a happy Christmas. I'll see you guys before New Year's. See you guys later. Peace. If I can swipe up. And end the recording.